first two people in the Kingdom of Thailand to be given special dispensation and permission to make cannabis oil and to distribute the cannabis oil to the sick and dying. For me, cannabis and prohibition began when I was a teenager. And for me in my life, the words bellum omnium contra omnes best represents where we are today. It's a Latin phrase meaning the war by all against all. And that's what I've been confronted with in my life. A war against health and safety and peace, and harmony, and many different things. What we've done here in Thailand is created the most liberal country in the world for cannabis medicine. And how we did that was we appealed to the people themselves, the most noble of the noble of Thailand. And I'm talking about the farmer. The farmer is the most noble person in this country because they do what the rest of us don't want to do. They suffer poverty. They suffer health issues from chemicals and many different things. So the king of Thailand, His Majesty Bhumibol Adulyadej, came up with the sustainability theory. And our job for the last 14 years was to take that from theory to practice. Cannabis is not just a plant to be grown and monetized and marketed by itself. It's integral. It's a component. It's part of something bigger, something greater, that's going to transform this country by reducing poverty and alleviating poverty in the most rural areas. Now, when I began making cannabis oil for the sick and dying, I was given this special dispensation. I was taking jars of oil to the AIDS hospital. And I got to tell you something. I've seen a lot of hardship in my life, being a soldier most of my life. I've seen a lot of very bad things, but I'll tell you something. Going into an AIDS hospital or a cancer hospital to give oil to the dying was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. So when you people call this thing medicine, I want you to understand something. There's 2.3 million people in this country that are handicapped and disabled. Out of that 2.3 million people, 1.8 million live on less than 5,000 baht a month and usually live alone in a hut or a jumble house. Beyond that, there are 793,000 veterans jobless. There's over 458,000 people being released from prison for nonviolent crimes. And one of the projects that I do is help with the transition of that by teaching them how to be cannabis farmers. There's 392,000 orphan children. And all this is done through the Wat and temple complexes throughout Thailand that are community centers. So while you may not see me having a store or a shop like Versace or Gucci style shop, I'm in every single Wat in the country. I give away my oil and my medicine for free. And I hope that you understand that what we are up to here is a transformation not only of economics, but of the social structure of Thailand. And that we are trying to do our best to restore peace and dignity and hope. That's what this business is. And that's why I'm happy to see you here. After 14 years, 2,393,473 kilometers in 14 years, 473 of it just today to be here, driving 5 hours from Korat. I've never asked for money from anybody. I don't want it. So I hope that you take this model that we've created and understand something. And this is a direct quote from His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej. And it is this: to the outside world, the structure of what you think a king and a kingdom is like this. And out of all the 600 plus stores that I've visited in this country, and of all the foreign companies that have come here, your organizational structure is like this. That's how your companies are. But His Majesty King Bhumipol said, this is how the outside world sees a king and a kingdom. But not in this country. In this country, it's like this. The king isn't at the top. The king is at the bottom. The farmers are at the top. They're the backbone of this country. And I hope you understand this, because I want you to succeed. I want your success. It's important to me. I've put in 14 years of my personal life investment into this to make it possible for you to be here today. I'm not your competitor. I'm not in competition with you. I invite you to come. Come to the kingdom. Come to understand the transformation that's taken place here, because to reduce suffering, we have to start with the poor. We have to start with the people that need it the most, not want it the most. If you're selling cannabis on the street, I'll give you an example. This is just something I picked up a couple days ago at a store down in Pattaya. This was advertised for 650 baht as being a variety from Canada. Turns out it's moldy. It's got fungus on it. And my two doctors are sitting here right now to tell you this bad weed right here put 2,640 people in the hospital for respiratory distress. 4 people have died from respiratory distress. So now I come back to my opening phrase in Latin, bellum omnium contra omnes, the war by all against all. I hope you understand what I'm saying to you, because we take this as an act of war. We take this as a direct assault on our health, our welfare, our lives, by giving us a product that you know to be bad, and yet you sell it anyway. I think this is a good time to explain my appearance today. This badge represents that I've been ordained and appointed as a Grand Monk Administrator. I'm an administrator to the Grand Monks of Thailand. That's a social issue. The badges below represent that I'm an appointed advisor to the Ministry of Defense, and I am a member of the Royal Thai Free Volunteer Special Forces Manhunters Brigade. What that means is that if this continues, it's not going to be the police that come for you. And just so you know, I'm not speaking to any particular person in here. I'm speaking beyond you. I'm speaking through that camera. I'm speaking beyond this room. If this continues, it will not be police officers that come. It's going to be me. These pins represent familiars. These represent that I have met with or been in the company of members of the royal house, the kingdom. I have a very big burden to represent. So I hope everyone here understand the warning and the invitation that I'm trying to explain to you, to adapt or perish. Adapt is an invitation to come, find your success. I'll help you any way I can, because you're not my competitor. I'm your ally, if you allow me to be. But if you don't adapt and you don't start producing this product fairly, according to the Thai economy, to support the people that need it the most, then you will find me an adversary. If this kind of thing continues in product, that it's hurting people, you will find me a vicious adversary. That's all I have to say for now. I'd like to have anybody have any questions for me. We'll have the round table later, but I invite some of you to ask me very hard questions. I'm not here to talk about growing. I'm not here to talk about extraction. I'm not here to talk about product development. I'm here to talk about your development. You and me. Because together, we can bring peace to the world. Together, we can reduce human suffering. And if we have to do that by marketing this to tourists, so be it. But my job is to get this to the poorest of the people in this country and to reduce their suffering and reduce their poverty. Again, I am not your competitor, but I do invite you to join me. Thank you.